Hey everybody, I wanted to talk to you all today about a very real issue that Kevin and I have been having. It's actually been something that has been seriously talked about for over a year now, maybe even like a year and a half. And we wanted to talk to you all about it because I actually have seen a lot of your comments talk about this very issue on your channel specifically. So because so many of you have been asking about it, I thought we should answer it right here.
Like
now,
a Q&A.
Yeah. So now before we get into it too much, we want to give you a little bit of a background information going on. Some of you know, Kevin was originally from Florida, and I was born and raised here in Ventura, California.
But see, I was born in Germany, and then I went to Florida.
When he was an itty little baby at 18 months old who didn't know about anything, he moved to Florida and then was raised in Florida.
Thank you for clarifying.
And I don't know if it's because Kevin was from Florida, but you don't care about hot climate, like at all. You don't even care about climate.
About warm beach water, which you get at Florida.
Anyway, me on the other hand, self-admittedly, I'm spoiled with weather. I mean, Ventura, California has some of the nicest year-round weather in the entire world. And because I grew up here in this amazing weather, I'm seriously shocked by like cold or hot climate, like the extremes.
And so she's pissed at me because I want to move.
So now, with that being said, Kevin and I have an ongoing discussion about leaving California and moving to a state that has no income tax. And
no state income tax.
Yeah.
Good money in the pocket.
And to be honest, if we made this decision and moved, these savings would be absolutely huge.
Oh my gosh, I think we wrote it down here. We would literally save somewhere around $600,000 in taxes this year if we moved to Vegas. Well, I guess it would be next year if our income was the same. But the point is, in 1 year, we would save around $600,000 in taxes because California taxes are that freaking expensive. We could literally buy a 4-unit apartment building every single year with the money that we would save. It's crazy. Like, quite frankly, California just like, and has so many issues on top of that. So it's kind of like, it's like somebody's giving you this beautiful carrot, not to stick like California. It's giving you this beautiful carrot of, here, have $600,000. Do whatever you want with it. Or do you want to stay in California? Well, yeah, you've got the weather, but 1/3 of California is on governmental assistance for their health insurance, and that's to evidence that the state is broken, because literally when 1 in 3 people are dependent on California for help, we know that the problem isn't people, it's the system. It's California's schools that suck. They don't teach people well because basically people who graduate high school can't even get a job. And of course, they end up becoming dependent on California because if you can't get a job because your schooling sucked, you have no choice but to become dependent on the state. So this, in my opinion, like this whole like cycle of disasterness in California, of poor education and poor support from the government for manufacturing and jobs out here, leads to basically people going to school, learning very little, and then can't make money because there are no jobs and they don't have the education. And what happens? Boom, low tax revenues for the state. The state has to increase taxes. You get crime going up, you get homelessness going up. And basically the whole cycle is perpetuated by this fundamental issue. Poor education, lack of proper support for business. If you just educate people and then give them jobs, they'd be able to make money and live, and you wouldn't have 1/3 of the state living on governmental support. So I don't know, Lauren. So I had to get that off my chest. Like, California pisses me off.
It's pretty like obvious. I feel like we've had multiple debates. Maybe let's just say that at night after the kids go to bed about this very thing, and yeah, you got your whole list prepared.
I can keep going.
I know you
I
can.
will keep going, but I have to be respectful of your channel.
Thank you. It is my channel. Thank you. Kevin would love to either wine from last night. Kevin would actually love to either move back to Florida or Nevada. I think that's the two you've talked about most. But let me explain my problems with moving back, and I want to know what you guys think. Maybe I'm misplacing the value. So
$600,000.
One, I care a lot about the weather, and this is the personal thing. Not everybody does. He doesn't.
Dude, if somebody paid you $2,000 a day to just suck it on the weather.
Let me keep going. I'm constantly outside with the kids, and I absolutely love that the weather is basically gorgeous year round. It doesn't affect
For
us
$2,000
in any way.
a day,
You calm down and just
we
wait.
could have a portable air conditioner follow you around outside.
Let me finish. Kevin, just to be clear, he's in his office most of the day, and he doesn't care. The two things, in office all day and doesn't care anyway.
Are you trying to say I'm boring?
No, you just are. It's just a fact that you're in the office all day. Anyway, two, My family lives 5 minutes away, and they are the biggest help to me. I'm super close to them, and I love being around them.
Yeah, and you gotta realize though, if we moved to Florida or Vegas, we could move them into a compound. We would get paid to move them in. We could literally give them $300,000 a year. Go here, have half.
I can assure you that the money wouldn't be a thing that would entice them, and I could almost guarantee they would not move. I just know that they wouldn't. It's just unlikely that they'd ever move to an income tax-free state because, to me, and I've heard them, they view life now as we get to live in California. We get to live in this weather.
People don't say that online.
Well,
Nobody online says we get to live in California.
They don't care about a larger number in the bank account, and it doesn't affect their lives at this point, I don't think. So they want to stay in this beautiful climate.
Yeah, well, that's easy for someone to say who's retired and not
I don't
subject to these crazy taxes. Although, I do agree they probably have the same opinion.
I don't think they would have changed even if they were working full time. It's just a huge value with how beautiful it is. Look up the weather here, guys. Year-round weather. What is the climate called again?
Every time we look up the weather, it's like 70 degrees here, and then we go, weather, Vegas, Nevada, to Alexa, or whatever, Siri, and it's the same. It's like 70 degrees. It's always the same. Every time we check it, I'm always right. The weather's the same.
Every time we have the comparison, like, the last time I really remember it was like 72 degrees here. It was like beautiful, clear blue skies, like no wind, like literally perfect. And then we were like, Siri, weather in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is currently 110 degrees in Las Vegas, Nevada.
That last time was literally like 3 or 4 months ago. Your memory is stuck to a silly little 3-month little sliver of the year of Vegas.
I'm literally gonna slap you. I will say that Vegas has...
It's your channel.
Okay. I will say that Vegas has pretty normal weather during the winter months.
Thank you.
But the summer and spring, basically, I would say March through October.
May through September.
So even longer.
No, that's less. I said less.
So no, what I said.
Yeah.
Is very, very hot and undesirable to me.
Oh.
Anyway, let me continue on, please.
We gotta live on the finance alley with Jeremy and Graham and Andre. Like,
that would be fun, but let me continue.
we could have tunnels built between the properties, so you wouldn't even have to go outside.
Yeah.
We could be like as if we're living on
like
Mars.
little moles underground.
Yeah, sure, fine. Yeah, we'll go with that analogy.
Anyway, 3. I have 2 childhood friends here that one of them I've known since 7th grade, and before the pandemic, we would hang out weekly. I love her so much. We are so close. And the other one, I am so happy that they chose to move from New York after living there for 10 years. She went to college there. I've known her since elementary school. She just moved back a few months ago, and I cannot wait to spend weekly bi-weekly time with, not bi-weekly, I can't wait to spend every week with her.
Well, so what you're saying is you have 2 friends. That's why you're thinking about bi-weekly and weekly here. You're getting those confused because you got 2 friends. And for 2 friends, you are staying in a state. And the first thing they said when they moved here from New York is, wow, we moved from New York and our taxes went up because we got stuck in California.
You're avoiding the other thing they said. They said that they would rather live in this weather, even though it was, not as, they could have.
I didn't hear that.
They could have chosen, they were going to move to Austin actually, and they chose Ventura area because of the weather, and
we did go to Austin with them.
They're happy to be paying these taxes because of the weather. They are in shock that coming from New York, the harsh winters and the very hot, humid summers, they're in shock how wonderful it is. Like, they forgot because it's been so long since they've lived here.
I liked Austin. I liked Austin a lot.
It was cool. It was just
I mean,
very hot.
we did go in August of 19.
Yeah.
And it was 110 out. So we walked to a coffee shop like 4 minutes away, and it's like, whew,
Yeah.
you do got to get inside.
Let me clarify, because Kevin, if you were single, I think that you would move in a heartbeat. I really do. But I would be, since we are married and we have a family and we have to make choices, I would be extremely unhappy if we were to move just to have more things.
But you could buy stuff
to me
every day.
In this case specifically, money would definitely not buy happiness.
Think about the amount of stocks we could buy then.
So, but really quickly, I have wondered this a lot though. If you live in California, like inland California, where you basically have the same weather as Nevada, why not move to Nevada to save the money? That's what I don't get, because like there's a lot of California that has pretty, harsh difference than where we live weather, like basically again like Nevada. Why wouldn't you move there? Maybe it's because of friends and family, but if it's not, like answer this. Why wouldn't you make that choice? So yeah.
I mean, what you're saying is like if you're on the border of Nevada and California, why would you not live on the other side?
Yeah, that's what
it's true. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we're like on the border.
Right, we're literally on the coast. But to me, I don't have a problem with living way below our means and paying a weather tax is kind of how I look at it. To be in this awesome weather year round and to be close to my friends and family. And so that's my bottom line. And I just don't think that these things are the money saving potential, especially where we are at in our lives. And me even proving a point to him by saying I truthfully, and you know I would too, would move into a smaller house just to be here because it's that important to me. And I think, again, to reiterate, two people in a marriage, you wouldn't care whether you're here or there. Yes, you maybe prefer the other one, but you are not unhappy here. I would be drastically, emotionally, like devastated and just so miserable if I moved away. Anyway, this will be something that we'll definitely, I'm sure, talk about continually. It's, again, like I said, about a year and a half ago, you started bringing it up, and I think it's going to be something you'll always think about, but I thought it was interesting to maybe bring this conversation that we've had to light and show other people like a really true thing that we've been talking about. And no, like it's not something that's actually affecting our marriage or like really our happiness. This is just kind of something we, what would this happen? And then we have like a healthy debate.
I like the voice. What if we did this?
Yeah, that's to emphasize how light of a conversation. No, it's actually not, because we do get heated sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
Next debate we have to promise we're going to talk in like a very high-pitched voice.
I'm going to move to Vegas.
I want you to. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you agree with me or agree with Kevin, and leave comments down below. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.